Mark from Show Me Construction, and today I'm going to change the oil in my daughter's lawnmower. It's been needing it a while, and I thought it'd be a good thing to do, and maybe give you guys some pointers and tips on at least the way we do it. Anyway, we're going to get started. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to change it with the air filter. We're going to change the spark plug, and we're going to change the blade, a new blade on the lawnmower. So, but the first thing we need to do is we're going to drain we run the lawnmower till it runs out of gas. When you tip the lawnmower over, at least on a push mower that we're going to be doing, you want to run it out of gas before you tip it over. And so we've already ran it out of gas, and now we're going to tip it over and pull the oil plug and drain all the oil out and get started. This is a Toro 22-inch self-propelled mower. It's not a big lawnmower, but it's certainly a nice lawnmower for their size yard. And this is the little the plug where the oil goes in, and we're going to pull that, and now we're going to drain it out. Now when we drain it, we are going to lose some on the lawnmower, but with the rag wheel we'll be able to clean it off. It's recommended to change your oil about every 50 hours. And it's certainly been more than 50 hours, but it's time. The oil is pretty dirty, but on any kind of equipment like this, changing oil is really the lifeblood of your machinery. Keeping the oil changed really extends the life of these things. And it's good to get into a habit of doing the routine maintenance and keeping up with it, so you have a nice machine that's it's going to be dependable. But you definitely have to keep changing the oil in them. And like here in the Midwest, it's also good to put an additive in the gas when it gets to be toward the winter, unless you run them out of gas in the winter, which a lot of people don't do. It's nice to put an additive that in the gas to help it through the winter, so it doesn't gum up the carburetor. That's just a tip for you. But now, since we've got the oil drained, we're ready to put oil in it. But right now, since the oil is out, it's empty of gas, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to change the blade right now. Okay, now we've got the lawnmower tipped up, and here's one thing to note. If you do have to tip a lawnmower on the side, you want to tip it on the side where the carburetor is above where you filled it with oil, because you don't want oil to get into the carburetor here. So you don't want to tip the lawnmower where the carburetor's down, because you don't want to get oil in your carburetor. Even though we've drained it with oil, it's always a good thing to remember to tip it so the carburetor is above. And then you just got to loosen this up. And this is just a universal blade on this thing. That's really easy. Just make note of where your blades are, see, when you're going to cut this thing. I'll let you see how old this blade is. It's a pretty old blade. But you can see it's this blade has been it's really been worked. And it's just a 22-inch blade, but you can see the difference. It was the same blade. Oh, another thing I want to show you too, because your blade, your lawnmower may have it. This particular blade it has grooves that locks in, and you also see holes right here. Now, because of these grooves that lock into this groove, it doesn't allow this blade to freely spin. But if not, you might have had studs sticking out here, and they would go inside these holes to keep this blade from just freely spinning when you get it together. So that's just something to know. Yours might be a little bit different. That's it. That's the blade. I'll set it back down. On this filter, we got it. This is a new filter. It looks old, but we got a filter. The old filter. The old filter was a little bit smaller than this new filter that we got. So we just took a pair of scissors and cut it down. Looks like we used our teeth to cut it, but we didn't. But we had to cut it down so it would fit in here, and it actually fits. It works very good. The filter had been changed already, so we didn't worry too much about it, but it fits right in there, and it's good. Now the next thing we're going to do is change the spark. If it's good enough, if it's good enough to come out. There, now it fits. Okay, the next thing we're going to change is the spark plug. And it's right here. And with the spark plug, obviously you're going to need a spark plug wrench. Which is this? It's just a special wrench like this. This is the Toro, and it's a 6.75, and the engine is a Kohler, so we went ahead and got the Kohler plug. And the nice thing about this is it's already pre-gapped, so we don't really have to do anything to this gap. I mean, for generally that's the case. They pre-gap these spark plugs. So now we've got we're going to take this spark plug out. And you can see the difference in it. This one's really worn, and so we're going to go ahead and put a new plug in it. Okay, that's tight, so I just want to put a little bit of pressure on it, and you don't want to over tighten these things. This is an 18 millimeter, but you don't want to over tighten the plug, because you don't want to break this little ceramic on the spark plug, so you got to be careful putting it in. And then once we got that, and then you'll hear that it'll snap in, just like it did right there. It'll snap into place. All right, so we got the oil changed, the filter changed, and we changed the lawnmower blade. And now the thing to do is we got to put oil in the machine. Got to refill it with oil, and we'll be all set to go. This is easier with a funnel, but you just got to be slow with it and be careful, and it'll go right in. A little air bubbles coming up. You just got to be slow, and it'll fill it up. It should take this whole thing, but then it's going to look like it's filling it up, and then it's going to belch the air out, and it'll go back down. You just keep pouring it in. It gets the air and you can see where you got to fill it to the bottom of the threads, but you've got to you don't want to have a bunch of air in it because it's really not full when you're doing that. You can see the air coming out of it. That's why it's important too to change your oil on a level surface. Yeah, see, now the oil is, you can see the oil is at the bottom of those threads. What's the top of that solid ring, and that's where you want it to be. You don't want to fill your oil all the way up to the top. You don't want to do that. Then you overfill it, and that's not good. So there's just a little bit in here, and I'm going to put some gas in it now and start it up. Now we got it all filled with gas. So it's ready to go. Let's try it out.
Are you gonna mow my lawn now?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't do that stuff.